the things we do at Tier 1 obviously is the conscious discipline piece. That's just an ongoing thing that we have to continue to talk about. But with our Rome, as students, if students do, I just want to talk about if they do earn an office referral. Just going back and like looking at Rome, the respect ourselves and others, owning our own behavior, always staying safe and making each day count, helping students to really understand it's a teaching moment. We always go into, we know you're a good boy or a good girl. We're going to separate the child from the behavior, and we're going to really have them, they write out the reflection on which part of Rome they did not meet. At that point, once they're able to really own that behavior, we always, loop in the parents on that, and having the students become part of the phone call and really getting them to the point where they're owning their behavior with their parents has been really super effective. And it's always restorative though. It's never punitive or embarrassing. It's always like we're ready to go out and make it a great, great day. And so we do, one of the greatest things that Ms. Kerner, our assistant principal, has brought in along with our SST team here is just changing up the way we're doing our positive behavior awards, recognizing in great expectations students who are exemplifying the life principles. We also have all kinds of different resources that our SST team offers to our teachers on the monthly meetings when they come in and they need something quickly to do with their kids. We just give them an intervention to try.
I made, at the beginning of the school year, I made some intervention boxes for the teachers, their workforce/first then boxes. They're all laminated, they all have Velcro. So I took the guessing out of everything. So they just come in, they can get a box. The tops are interchangeable, so if it has a first then, but you need a work for, you can take the first then off and put the work for on. All the pieces that go with the token boxes and all of that are already printed, Velcroed, laminated, and in the box for teachers as needed.
Our other part is data-driven, and so we talked about our student celebration. We have a kindness heart, so when you guys walk in the main hallway, when you come to Cross Timbers, I would love for you guys to walk by and see that. We've got the kindness tree, and you can see all the students that have shown kindness. We also have the staff shout out that Jen talked about earlier, so you can see all of the staff that's doing a great job. We have our student celebrations, and then we have evidence-based practice is our third item on our board. And so that's just the behavior matrix, the flow chart. We also, very new this year, is the care room. And it's not the ABL lab, it's just a care room where students can go and regulate. We do have our check-in, check-out. The one thing that I am super, super proud of for our school is the continuous improvement cycle. The data is there and it's showing.
The younger grades have social thinking stories, and then the older grades also have some social thinking. So we start our year by being like social detectives, and your class makes a spy name and all of these things. And it's really given just a very good common language amongst our kids about everyone has thoughts about everyone in this room. We all have thoughts about each other and how we can build those social connections. And so that's been really good vertically and helped a lot as a teacher.
Okay, so the common intervention or the tier 2 is the check-in, check-out. So what we do is it's kind of individualized. So we try to find what motivates the kiddos. We have some kids that are Pokemon fans or Mario Brothers, and some kids need more than just the one check-in. So we do a midday check-in. So it's kind of just individualized to that kid. We have a form that we use, and then we can kind of add little different things to that. So that's our check-in.
Okay, so for our tier 1, this year we kind of revamped our whole matrix, and we went with We Will, and so we did a matrix for all areas of the building. The hallways, the restrooms, cafeteria, and that's the cafeteria playground where we were really struggling. And so we worked together and came up with a game for the whole school. So it was a tier 1 intervention, and it was called Adventure Awaits, and the kids are earning big paws and small paws, mostly on the playground and in the cafeteria. And then once they move their little chip on the board, then they get a stuffy day or bring your favorite drink to school day. And so that has really helped our behavior in the playground and in the cafeteria. And it's out, and then there's some pictures on our board of how the kids can look, and they see every Friday that their little chip has moved and where they are and what they're working for next. So that has really helped so far this year. Let's see, we have our Wildcat Buddies, which we have a local church that comes in. I feel like I see them every day in there, and they're reading, helping academics. So it's really a good support that we have. And let's see what else we have. And of course our care room, which at Title School we're lucky enough to have it staffed and fully staffed. And we have the kids in there that just need a break that as needed, some that are scheduled. And then when we have our walkie calls, they come in there to blow up some steam, step on some acorns, just, and if they need to do their work that they didn't get done earlier that day, we're fortunate enough to have that all day, every day.
We also have a mentoring program where we pair up staff with other students, and so they take their lunchtime. Any staff in our building can take their lunchtime to meet with students once or twice a month to just invest in them. In our Tier 3, we have a behavior program, so we're staffed with that.
So the first thing I want to talk about is something that we started right after Christmas because our attendance data was very low. So we made attendance boards for each classroom. And so every day the teachers take attendance, through IC, but then they also mark it on here. And so as the kids are walking around, we're trying to see who got 100% of attendance today, who only has 78 or whatever. And the end of that push is going to be open house. So we'll track this for a month on open house in February. They will also get an attendance ticket at open house. And if they come and do all the things that they're supposed to do at open house, they'll get a prize the very next day. Another thing I wanted to mention is for our stakeholders, we are very fortunate to have be neighbors with the retirement center next door called Epworth Villa. And so they do come in, they do reading, we have some that come and tutor. We go over and read to them, we show them our science projects, and we interact with them. We practice our music program over there, so we go to the ballroom and do our show for them. But one of the neat things is we have some pep rally members, so they'll come on Friday mornings to our assembly and participate with us, and they're part of our school family also, and so that's really neat. When we go over there, they're like, oh, you live over here. Then they come and oh, you're here. So it's really neat for our kids to have that intergenerational relationship.
And then we started staff shoutouts. We also, with that, you write out a shout out to a staff, you put it in, and then during Rise and Shine, those are read out loud too so they can be recognized as well. Just one thing about this where we do have all of our expectations posted for all of our little Nighthawks to see as they walk through the different parts of the building. And then for our CIB, we have our flow charts. We talk about it in our behavior and student support meetings to make sure that we're following that so we have validity and fidelity. And then lastly, we have some examples of our check-in and check-outs for older and younger, as well as our 2x10s. Those are our kind of go-tos that we first do. We like those because we can gather data to see what time of day a kid is acting up. Is it before math class? Is it before lunch? Gives us some more information. And then of course, we always want to connect with those kids first because a lot of times attention is what they want.
Any adult in the building can write a postcard to any student they see doing something good, and we change it each year depending on the theme. So this year it's all about learning is fun and games, so our postcards say, this dolphin is on another level, and the adult writes it, we mail it home. We read it out loud during our Dolphin Flash weekly. We have little cards that we send to the staff. Staff write it to each other, I noticed and thank you. Then in the newsletter, we have little fun shout outs about one staff member, things that go from their favorite karaoke song to what they like to play with at recess when they were a kid. And then we print them off and the kids can read about them too after we do a big Guess Who at Dolphin Flash. Then we have our Friends and Fur Babies board that we have. The kids like seeing the fur babies. We also do the character awards of the month, but we kind of stepped it up this year. And so when they get the award, they get their dynamic dolphin shirts, which our PTO paid for. And then on the back, it has all the character awards that we give out each month. So the parents kind of have, how do I buy one of those? We can give her. Then we even make it even further in recognition in Dapper Desk Hand, so the custodian does the cleanest classroom of the month, the week, MVP of recess, and then the golden spoon at cafeteria. And Mr. Goodrich is up to it with incentives. Like, so if they win the MVP, they get 5 minutes of recess. If they do the cafeteria award, they get to do free choice Friday of where they get to sit. So it makes it a little bit extra in there.
We went this past spring to the Anger and Rage Conference in Seattle. We took our team, and so when we came back, we started with working on switching our RISE room over to a care room. And so that's something that we've really focused on. And so we're starting to kind of track that data, and it's been really effective so far. But that's kind of our main thing, that we also fully rely on 2x10s and check-in and check-outs. But we try to be as proactive as possible when it comes to our behaviors. And so then every month we focus back on that and reflect on it in our behavior PLC with our teams. So we go reading and the math, and then our behavior one, we track all of our data, talk about it, what's working, what's not working, what do we need to tweak. But our care room so far has been pretty effective.
Things just to share that have been really helpful for us this year, and this is back here, I've seen some people who have grabbed it, is a reinforcement and like motivational survey. This is something we started this year with when we're staffing with kids about a kiddo who is struggling, them, especially for our older kids, them filling this out to see what is motivating. We're able to see some kids that we would have never thought, they just want time with their teacher, or they just want to have lunch with their teacher. So this is a really good tool to see what is this kid seeking, because all behavior is purposeful. They're seeking something, so what is it that they're seeking, so we can meet that need. So we actually plan on putting this in our binders next year for all of our teachers, so they can do this at the beginning of the school year. And we have another one that's maybe for a little bit more lower grade friendly. And then another thing that you guys can take too that has been helpful is we gave all of our teachers a 2x10 pad. We got the 2x10s made on a pad this year for them to use at the beginning of the year or anytime after breaks, to be able to use these with their kiddos, building those relationships.
Okay, and then last thing, we have in our binders this folder, and it has different things. We have our token economy, Papa Star, whatever you guys want to call it. And we also have some executive functioning, because all of our students need help with that from time to time. And so we have a first, next, then, and we also have a first, then. And then we also have a what you need to do and what it looks like when it's finished. And then we also have a Tier 1 at risk, and so these are all the options that you can do. We also have a really cool closet that you can check out items that are on this list for your students. So.